Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are live right now on LiveList.com here at the beautiful Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. We are experiencing day number 4 of the Final 5 Grateful Dead Fairly Well Tour shows. My name is Matt Kerner for LiveList, and it's our pleasure to bring you this exclusive pre-show segment right here on LiveList.com. Don't forget that if you want to check out the live show, you can still register right now. Go to our website, LiveList.com, click on the link to register for the pay-per-view, and we will see you there during the live concert. We've had a great afternoon here in Chicago. It's been awesome. It's beautiful weather right here on Lake Michigan, and it is the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everyone, from all of us over here at the Grateful Dead show and at LiveList. We've been speaking to a lot of great people today, people from all over the world, all over the country that have come here to experience the 4th of July in Chicago, and they're spending it with us here at Soldier Field, so it's been very special. And we'd like to share some of that experience with you tonight. Walking around the venue, you can see that it's an electric atmosphere. The stage is getting prepped. The fans are piling into the stadium, so we're expecting another awesome show tonight. And we had the chance to check up and check in with some of the most amazing special guests that we have lined up for you. One such individual that we met with is probably the foremost music photographer and documentarian on the planet. He's worked with Grateful Dead for a long time. He's done featurettes for Rolling Stone. He's directed his own live shows and broadcasts, and we'd like to share a little bit of that with you and share the perspectives that he gave on his experience and the experience of being with this culture for so long. So we'd like to show you a little bit of that intro segment now. His name is Jay Blakesberg. Check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting here with Jay Blakesberg, the official Grateful Dead 50 Fairly Well Tour photographer. Jay, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate being here.
So, Jay, you are a quintessential part of the tour, part of the Grateful Dead culture. What got you started with the band and with photography?
Well, in terms of photography, in high school I had an interest in photography, and the first Grateful Dead concert that I photographed was Labor Day weekend, 1978, at the Meadowlands Giant Stadium in New Jersey. And that was the beginning of my adventure as a photographer in Grateful Dead land. I've been to about 250 Grateful Dead concerts, numerous other offshoots, and post Grateful Dead, I've done a lot of work with every single band member who have all done incredible things post Grateful Dead. I mean, the band that Bill Kreutzmann has together right now, Billy and the Kids, is incredible. Phil Lesh at Terrapin Crossroads, what he's doing is amazing. All of Bobby's projects have been stellar. Chris Robinson, Jackie Green, all the different stuff. Rat Dog, obviously. And Mickey has been just, next level incredible stuff. And so I've been really fortunate to be able to photograph all of that stuff. And, to me, my Grateful Dead adventure photographing the band isn't done until they all stop playing. Until the last one retires for good, I'm going to keep photographing them, and that archive will continue to grow and build. I truly believe that this is pop culture history, and the Grateful Dead was an enormous zeitgeist of pop culture history. And so to be able to document that, to me, is very special. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's something I don't take for granted, and I love the opportunity that it's afforded me. I always tell my stories in multiple photos because I think it helps tell that story better, and I've always liked that aspect of photography, and I think in social media especially we're able to tell that story using multiple photos again. It's not about a single photo defining a moment or defining a concert or defining a band. So far at Fairly Well, I think last night I shot about 4,000 photos. In Santa Clara I shot about 7,000 photos. It's a big story, and it needs to be told in a big way. And that's how all of my books have been. My most recent book that just came out is called Guitars That Jam, and it features Bobby and Phil and Jerry Garcia and Trey Anastasio and Mike Gordon from Phish and the Black Crowes and a lot of other bands. It's multiple photos that help tell the story. And so for me, it's not about just the one. There is no one defining photo. And if you've seen some of the photos that have been out there from these shows on social media and a lot of the press, they're all running multiple photos because it's not about one band member. It's about all the band members, and they're not all in every shot. And it's about the fans, and it's about the venue and the stadium and the experience. So that's how I approach my photography.
Yeah, very cool. And you're so we're here in Chicago. It's day number 4 or 5. it's a big chapter closing off for the Grateful Dead. So what does it mean for us culturally speaking? You know, the band is publicly ending their stint together as the Grateful Dead. What is the significance of that for us as an American music treasure like this is?
I think that the significance is that it brings the tribe together one last time in a really big way. And I think that's the most significant thing because there's 60,000 or 70,000 people at each one of these shows. And it really is a family reunion, but this is a tribe. And as a photographer or as a visual anthropologist, I'm documenting the tribe. And so this is just another big chapter in that. But after these shows are over this week, Phil Lesh will go back to Terrapin Crossroads, and Bob Weir will go on to his next project, and Billy and Mickey will go on to their next projects, and Trey will go back to Fish, and Bruce Hornsby will do his thing, and Jeff Chimenti will play with all of them because he's the all-around utility amazing guy. And so I will continue to photograph them, and it'll still be visual anthropology, and it'll still be an important part of the documentation, but I just think that Fare Thee Well is just a really wonderful way to kind of close it all. Like Phil Lesh said from the stage last night when he came out right before his donor wrap, he said, you know, we had no idea what to expect and what kind of reception that we would get. And this room was on fire. There were 70,000 people here, and this room was on fire. And so people are happy to be here. People don't feel like this is not an intimate situation. It's intimate because all these people are hanging out with each other. Like, you know, there's all these little tiny nucleuses of families that are tribe members that are together with their people. And there are people here that I met in 1979 that are my family. And there are people here that I haven't seen in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. And there are people here that I've known for 35 years that I see weekly because they're still in my life. And so that's the beauty of the family experience. And when it started in the Haight-Ashbury in 1965, 66, I guess, when they technically got to the Haight, nobody had any idea what this was going to become or what this could become, right? And so, you know, this is the grand American adventure. The Grateful Dead is the great American adventure in rock and roll. And I am so honored and privileged to be part of it and that I tapped into it. I tapped into it as a photographer, and I tapped into it as a Deadhead and a fan, and I tapped into it on a psychedelic level, and it changed my life in every possible way because all of those things have made me who I am. You know, we are the sum of our experiences, so all those Grateful Dead concerts and all those experiences, on psychedelics or not, have been life-changing and life-affirming.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Jay Blakesberg, a quintessential part in our American music history here, the quintessential adventure in American rock and roll. Right on, Jay. For those of you who are just joining us, we're here in beautiful Chicago, Illinois at Soldier Field. We're in day number 4 of the Final 5 Grateful Dead Fare Thee Well tour shows. You're listening to LiveList. We are the #1 guide to live streaming concerts worldwide. Don't forget to register at LiveList.com. Sign up for the pay-per-view stream right after our exclusive pre-show footage. We've had a great day here in Chicago. It's beautiful. We're on the museum campus. We're talking to people from all walks of life, all over the world, and they're culminating right here. They're converging on this site, and it's been a wonderful experience to hear about all of the heartwarming stories that are bringing people together as families and as friends from all over the place. And we'd like to share with you some of the experiences that we had this afternoon. So let's go right now to see some of the fan testimonials that we captured that really bring to life the vibe of the event, and they show you what it's like to be right here. So let's go check those out now.
My favorite Grateful Dead experience was when I was 18 in 1993, and my friends and I hitchhiked out to Seattle, Washington, and caught the end of the summer tour, and just that whole entire experience. Eugene, Oregon, 3-day run, unbelievable. Absolutely changed our lives.
My first show, I was very young, and I didn't know who they were, but they were sold out in Salt Lake City in like 80, I think it was. And I had some extra tickets, and I gave 2 girls these tickets, and they sat next to us, and they were the most beautiful women I'd ever met. And they sat with me, and they taught me about what it was like. And when I left, I was a Deadhead, and it changed who I am.
In the last 2 shows on the West Coast, it was like a spiritual experience. I had a double rainbow coming across the stage, and the whole crowd lifted up.
when I was 14. I saw the Grateful Dead for the first time in '94 at Rosemont Horizon. I was allowed to go because both my brothers were there, and they're older than me. And I was just in awe.
Back to last year when we were in Indianapolis and I was sitting 10th row and I yelled out for Scarlet Fire and they played it.
In 1972, I was camping in the Grand Canyon. Came out of the Grand Canyon after camping for a week, picked up a hitchhiker who had a Grateful Dead tape on, and he said, "Oh, the Grateful Dead, they're playing tomorrow in Santa Barbara." And I took him all the way to Santa Barbara. We bought a ticket for the show, went to the show, had a great time, and camped on the beach in Santa Barbara. So it was the serendipity after camping in the Grand Canyon.
Last night, just being here with one of my best friends in the whole entire world that I haven't seen in quite a few months, just meeting up in Chicago for the actual shows, and having to listen to like Franklin's Tower and Scarlet Begonias last night was pretty awesome as well.
My favorite song, I think, would be "Addicts of My Life," because I think it's the one of the most classic love songs ever written.
Well, for me, it's Viola Lee Blue.
I think I'd always have to put Dark Star there because it goes to that place that the Grateful Dead were singularly unique about being able to get to.
Casey Jones, of course. Black-Throated Wind's another one.
Althea, Sugary, Lost Sailor, Sailor Circumstance.
Ripple, because Jerry, if he knew the way, he'd take me home, and he's taken me home a lot of times.
This is very emotional for me. It's we're not going to see them, and I love them, and they helped me in my life, and we're all here to give thanks to them. You know, this is really important, and there's a lot of love here.
Today, this weekend, I say it's about the boys. It's about saying farewell to our friends that have given us all this great music for so long. And they'll still be around, but just the magic of being here and sharing that experience with them. And they give to us and we give back to them, and that's what it's all about.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just saw some of those amazing fan interactions we had today. We just walked around and tried to capture the vibe of the event, and what was truly incredible about the experience for us was seeing that so many people take their experiences here very, very seriously. They're coming to Chicago and converging in a place that they expect to not just hear great music, they're here to experience the sights and the sounds that you know come about when you go to a Grateful Dead show. So that's what's so interesting about this, is people are using it as a catalyst to, you know, build their own memories, and that's what's really, really cool. And it takes a lot to put a show like this together. It's fascinating when you speak to some of the professionals that are behind the scenes, what their perspective is on translating an experience that has such an impact with the fans. You know, we saw a couple of emotional interviews. It was awesome to see that reaction. So we wanted to also see what it takes to put together that artistic experience and put together the experience on a technical level. How does the technology and art form bridge? And we met up with someone who we think you're really going to enjoy. He's behind all of the beautiful artwork that we see during some of the special segments in the show, and we'd love to introduce him to you now. Check out Android Jones, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Android Jones. Thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, Android, you are responsible for contributing to a lot of the visual design elements that we're seeing today, including the live motion graphics, the drums in space sequences. How are you influenced by the environment that you're in, the culture and all this, in creating such beautiful work for us?
Great. Yeah, well, I'm part of a team with Obscura and Jonathan Singer, and we're all kind of collaborating like a visual band that jams with the music in the moment. So everything is created kind of impromptu, spontaneously to the music. And I first got into the Grateful Dead when I was about 15. I remember I started listening to Terrapin Station. I would just put my headphones on and just go to another dimension listening to that. So, and obviously the incredible impact they've had in culture and underground culture. I participated a lot in music festivals and Burning Man, and this is definitely part of that source code that really inspired a template that I've gained a lot of amazing experiences from. So it's a real honor and a pleasure to be part of delivering this one last great experience for all these people.
So when you're creating a visual experience for us, it's part of the whole, the 5 senses package and 6 senses package. What are some of the things that you want us to experience when we're seeing some of your work?
Well, really, I'm in service to the music and the people. The way that I create visuals is they're all dynamic. I've got a particle generator and I use a large drawing tablet like a guitar. So I'm really trying to kind of dance with the music and feel the beat. So when you see those explosions and those like serpentine moves, I'm really trying. My goal is to feel the music as deeply as I can and give the music as accurate as possible as a visual representation in order to really enhance the overall kind of like the spell, if you will, that the music is having to bring everybody together. Because I think for me it's really about creating a sense of unity together, and that's, I think, what makes the Grateful Dead so popular is the way they tap into that Maslowian like feeling of belonging to something. Yeah. So I want to reinforce that experience and get just everybody on the same page for this moment of kind of oneness that we can feel and feel more connected to each other and just enjoy this life.
So the crowd consciousness is definitely something you tap into.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like the mana that I'm drawing from. And I've done some gigs before, but I've never done anything of this scale. So to have, 70, 80,000 people there kind of with you, it's really about trying to tap into that and just be of service and just try to give everyone the best experience that I'm capable of adding. It doesn't need it. It's so amazing as it is, but if I can just take that to one extra level and just give it, just make it more impactful. So, people are going to remember this night, hopefully for the rest of their lives, and being part of that is, like I said, it's a huge honor.
Very cool. So what does it mean to you? This is the 4th of the final 5 shows. The Grateful Dead are, for all intents and purposes, no longer billing together as the Grateful Dead after tomorrow night. So to you personally, what does it mean to you? And culturally speaking, for all of us as American music lovers?
Oh, it's amazing to feel like we're all contributing to this kind of part of history that's going to be important. So that's amazing. And it's been such a whirlwind. We just did Santa Clara. We just started working on this gig maybe like a month ago. So, I haven't even the jet lag of this experience hasn't caught up to me. We're just really trying to be in the moment, but we've definitely all immersed ourselves in it. I've been making Grateful Dead inspired art for the last week and a half, just really trying to feel this vibe, and a lot of it's just really trying to get to the core of this, understanding the phenomenon that is this band and how they became this and what it is that attracts all these people to wanting to have this experience together. And it's very fascinating.
All right, very cool. Android Jones, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure, for sure.
Right. Rock on, dude. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are right here on LiveList.com. We just spoke to Android Jones. You can follow him on Facebook. What an amazing artist. It's interesting to hear about how he's actually using the technology to perform, and how the art is part of the overall experience. And that's really what this is about. On LiveList, we're bringing you hundreds of shows every single day and thousands every month. And, we're connecting you with the artists that you love. So don't forget to register on LiveList.com, curate your own playlist, meet the artist, get into the scene, become part of it, and enjoy this experience for yourself. That's what this is all about. When we were down there, Android gave us a poster that we can actually show you right here, and he's been doing exclusive artwork just for the shows here in Chicago. So I'm going to get a shot of this right now. So Android created this wonderful poster here. There's beautiful contrasting colors. He signed it. It's really, this is really a testament to the art form and how adaptable it is. He's here in Chicago and he is performing every night just as the artists on stage are, and it's part of the overall experience here at a live show. And it's something that we, as audience members and as viewers at home can experience and get into, because not only are you hearing the music live, you're jamming, they're jamming with artwork. Technology has reached a point where we can actually create real-time live experience through visual design, and that is pretty cool. So some of the experiences we're having here, you know, in Chicago are absolutely incredible. You can see and hear the crowd behind me. They are piling into the stadium. We found out that there are over 100,000 people coming into Soldier Field tonight, 40,000 on the ground and 60,000 seated. That's a huge amount of folks here tonight. And we've been meeting a lot of them outside, you know, hearing their experiences about their travels and what they think of the overall culture and what it means to them. So let's go to that segment now. Let's show you guys at home what it feels like live from the lot. We okay? Okay. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here live in the lot with Becca and Allie from New Jersey. How are you ladies doing?
Doing very well. Happy to be here. Yeah, how are you?
Awesome. We are doing great. So why all the way to Chicago for a Dead concert?
Well, I actually have never been to Chicago, and I came to visit her, so. Okay.
And you're from Chicago?
No, I'm from Jersey, but I'm living out here now. Yeah.
All right, very cool. And what do you think of it before? Have you guys been to Dead shows before? Is this something that you're following?
No, I've never been. It's my first one.
Your first one. What do you think so far? The crowd, the culture?
It's awesome. It's really cool. Really
awesome. Very cool. Is this your first time as well?
This is my first. This is not my first show. I've been to Fish a lot, and my dad's a huge Deadhead, so that's the reason. He used to follow him around and everything. So.
Very cool. So what do you think about the vibe and the crowd? It's the 4th of July. It's the 4th of 5 final shows. They're kind of closing off a big chapter in our culture. What does it mean to you, seeing all these people from different age groups and different generations?
It's just surreal. I don't know. It's really cool.
Well, it's great that music could hit so many different generations and so many people can kind of come together in this mutual feeling and kind of like let go their normal day-to-day bullshit, their lives. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it seems very exemplary of like kind of baby boomer culture where I don't know if you saw any of like the hotels downtown. You have like these really grand-esque, like beautiful hotels, and then people with dreadlocks walking through, and it's just hilarious, kind of the irony of all of it. Yeah. So it's an interesting vibe as compared to normally when you're like camping out somewhere and don't have that. I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, we're in a beautiful city. It's beautiful weather outside. It's the 4th of July. Happy 4th. Thank you so much for being with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live in the lot here with Brent and Elizabeth. How are you guys doing?
Great. That's excellent out here. 4th of July, no better place to be.
Awesome. We're on the museum campus of Soldier Field, and we are experiencing what would be called a sensory overload here. It's pretty cool. Elizabeth, is this, I understand that you're local to the Chicago area, and is this one of your first Dead shows?
No, it's about my 300th Dead show.
No kidding. So, okay, when was the first time that you saw the Dead?
1973.
All right, and so it's about 300 shows since 1973, and as of tomorrow, there will be, the Grateful Dead will not build together. What does that mean to you?
We will live on. They are everywhere. The spirit will always be there.
And what grabs you about the music so much? What makes you so excited to come back?
I got chosen. I got chosen to be on the bus.
Really? And when did this happen?
1973.
And how many tours on the bus were you on?
Well, that's just a colloquialism.
Okay, I see.
You're a deadhead and you follow them.
I see.
I have a job, I'm educated, I'm not a burnout.
No. All right. And Brent, when was the first time that you saw?
First time I seen him was in 91.
91. Okay. And what grabs you about the music? What makes you keep coming back?
The thing about the Grateful Dead is their music is, I mean, all genres. It's jazz, it's country, it's rock. It's just such a mix, and it's just magic. There's some magic that happens.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. We're here with Brent and Elizabeth, live in the lot right here at the Grateful Dead 50th Fairly Well tour, closing out tomorrow, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you were just hearing our segment on Live in the Lot. Some awesome experiences from today in Chicago. People from all over the place having a great time. Some people having been to a Dead show more than 300 times. That's absolutely incredible. Don't forget to go to youtube.com/dead50 and register for the pay-per-view stream right after our exclusive pre-show right here on LiveList.com. We're bringing you hundreds of concerts a day and thousands a month. Register right now, LiveList.com, and also let us know what you think. Click the button at the bottom of the website and give us your feedback. We want to know how we can improve. We want to know what you're feeling as we're doing these exclusive curated pre-show segments for you. So we're right now in Chicago, Soldier Field. 100,000 people are piling into this venue tonight. The band is getting ready to go on stage. It's an absolutely electric vibe. As you can see, it's a very, very colorful atmosphere. There's people outside, there's people in the museum campus, and it's really an experience that when you come to Soldier Field and you're in Chicago, you walk up this veranda and you see the Field Museum and Soldier Field and the Alder Planetarium and Lake Michigan, that beautiful crisp air coming across your face. It just feels amazing. And you walk closer inside the gates of the event and you realize there are multiple areas to experience, multiple places to check out. There's food vendors, there's people dancing and singing, and it's really all part of this awesome master design that we're trying to recreate here in Chicago that is so synonymous with the experiences and memories built from coming to a Grateful Dead show. And we were able to catch up with someone that is the master of experiential ceremonies, so to speak, and his name is Dave Perchier. So we'd like to show you a little bit about his perspectives in what it takes to put together a memorable music event. Let's check that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are standing here with Dave Perchier. Dave, thank you so much for being with us.
You are welcome.
So Dave, you are a music industry expert, and you are here with the Grateful Dead. What is your background, and what are you doing here in Chicago?
Well, starting in 1983 at Madison Square Garden, saw my first Dead show, and I was hooked. I'm not going to say how young I was, but I was too young to be at a Dead show. And then I saw just short of 300 Dead shows, and then started, working with my own band, which ended up being kind of a jam. Well, it was one of the first jam bands, Blues Traveler.
Yeah.
And I took everything I knew as a fan and tried to apply it to the fan base of Blues Traveler. Yeah, so, and that included creating the Horde Tour. The band Blues Traveler, myself, a gentleman by the name of David Fry, created the Horde Tour, which were, Fish, Widespread Panic, Spin Doctors, Lenny Kravitz, Sheryl Crow, Black Crowes. Neil Young played it. So.
And these are all experiences that are based largely on what you'd find here at a Dead show and the culture that follows it.
Yeah, I did all those Dead shows before I ever had access behind the stage. I was a fan. I was following them around. And so when my band, Blues Traveler, started playing, we wanted to have that same, the jam sessions, the different sets every night, and then, and also include the fans and what they wanted.
So you're thinking of this as a context of not only what the band is doing on stage and how it carries into the experience, out in the lot in the venue with all the fans. What are those big elements that you take away and you incorporate in your work?
Well, you just don't think about it from the stage back. You think about the entire scene, not, stage back you control, but out front, how you treat the people, what their experience is going to be when they're home, when they leave home, on their way to the venue, when they arrive at the venue, what their day is going to be like, and try to, just get into the head of the fans. So, make sure they all come together as a community, which is very powerful. I mean, look at the Grateful Dead, right? The 50th anniversary, these guys haven't been as the Dead, the Grateful Dead, and they're filling up stadiums from nothing to stadiums, and everybody, it's like riding a bike. We all just showed up again, stepped right back into our roles, and here we are having a blast. I mean, the music is equally as important as the scene, So anyway, it's just a big love fest out there. 2015 Love Fest.
Right. So, Dave, tell us a little bit. What's your role here today? What are we seeing? What are we experiencing? And how have you had a hand in that?
Okay, so Peter Shapiro, the promoter, great guy. Peter has been a fan of music and jam bands and the Grateful Dead much of his life, and he knew my background, a few hundred Dead shows before, entering the business, and then Blues Traveler and what we did with all the other jam bands. So he asked me just to be an extension of his eyes and ears, feet on the ground, make sure everybody's having a good time, everybody's safe, just the general dynamics of it all.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. So just coming into the venue today, we're in the museum campus here in Chicago.
Yeah.
There's entrances on 4 sides, and you've got a festival atmosphere going on outside. Inside the venue, there's vendors inside. There's even representation from nonprofit organizations. The general flow is fantastic. So I mean, when you're designing a crowd experience and you want to make sure everyone's having that great time, what are some things that go through your mind as being an expert in creating those memories for people?
Well, what you want to do is you want to take the concert experience and expand it outside the walls. And you want to make it, some people will say it's a little too, cut and dry out there, but allow people to be able to flow and walk in multiple directions and have food, in one area and merchandise in another, grass for people to sit on, just create sort of that pre-show vibe. Back in the Grateful Dead days, it was very organic. The Deadheads kind of figured it out. It would arrive in a parking lot. You knew exactly where that shakedown vending area was. But since we don't have a whole tour to figure it out, and we're not, the Dead hasn't been playing Chicago Fields every summer for the last 15 summers, we had to add a little structure to it. You had to sort of create these little vending areas. But the general idea is to keep it open and allow people to move out, pre-show, and that way they'll bump into friends, they'll make new friends, get the whole experience. So.
Yeah, very cool. Well, it's been great outside. We've been talking with a lot of really cool people, people from all walks of life. We met someone from the States that flew in from Saudi Arabia just to be here in Chicago because he loved it so much. So, Dave, when you're experiencing the concerts this weekend, what's going through your mind knowing that the Grateful Dead, as the Dead, are no longer going to be billing as such after Sunday?
Well, you know what? I think my focus is really that we got this last event, because if you had asked me a year ago if this was going to happen, this would we were already done. So this is like cherry on the cake. Like, you know what? It's like another layer of cake, and we're all getting to enjoy it. Totally unexpected, and thank you guys for pulling it together. A bunch of old men pulled it together. They're going to be sore after this, I know it for a fact. But yeah, we're psyched. Everybody's having a great time.
All right. Dave Perchier, ladies and gentlemen, right here on LiveList. Thank you so much, Dave.
You got it, man. Rock out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dave Perchier. He's the master of experiential ceremonies here at the Grateful Dead 50 show live in Chicago. And right now, I am here with Dan. He's one of the crowd members. Dan, thanks for being with us. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling very excited, my friend.
Very excited, very excited. So where'd you come from today?
We flew out of Philadelphia, originally from South Jersey, but willing to make the trek halfway across the country for these final shows.
Yeah, very cool, man. You got some killer seats too, don't you think?
These seats are great. I think you would agree, right? You're stuck in the same section, so I hope you like them.
Yeah, we love it. So what are some of your thoughts on the Grateful Dead playing their final concerts this weekend?
I think that this weekend has had so much more energy than last weekend, and how could you not? I mean, with a sold-out crowd at Soldier Field, it's just unbelievable to not be able to harness that energy, and that's exactly what they've done. Trey came out of the gates ripping last night. Everybody loved it, man. He got that first big cheer, and he just was riding on that wave the whole rest of the night. And, I mean, from start to finish, last night was just incredible. So I just can't wait to see what they bust out tonight. I don't know how they could top it, but I know that they will.
Yeah, dude. So what's your most memorable, and what's your first Grateful Dead experience? When was the first time that you experienced the music?
Well, I never got to see Jerry Garcia, but I grew up listening to the Dead. My parents listened to the Dead, and just, grew up on it. And so I started going to shows when I was younger. I got to see the Dead in 2004, which was my first experience in the real scene, and subsequently I've seen Rat Dog and Phil and Friends and Further, and I'm a big Mo fan, and so I get around the scene, and something that made me so happy was that I don't have a ton of real Grateful Dead experiences, but having so many of these associated concert experiences, coming back here and seeing people I know and meeting up with friends who I didn't even know were going to be here is just unbelievable, and everything comes full circle, and that is just what I love about this.
Dude, the experiences here are absolutely incredible. Can you tell me about your jacket? What are you wearing, dude?
I am wearing my psychedelic three-dimensional disco jacket here. I figured it was July 4th, so I'd bust it out. It's a little on the warmer side, but it's worth sweating for looking amazing.
Absolutely. Dan, thanks for being with us, man. We really appreciate it. Rock on, dude. All right. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from Soldier Field right here in Chicago, Illinois on day number 4 of the Final 5 Grateful Dead Fairly Well Tour shows. It's our pleasure to be curating this experience for you. You know, live concerts are powerful, they're visceral, and it's very, very special to bring these incredible events to you, you know, live online. Don't forget to go to youtube.com/dead50. Register on LiveList. We're bringing you hundreds of concerts a day, thousands of concerts a month. Register for free right now and curate your own playlist. Connect with the artists that you love. And also let us know what you're thinking. We're going to bring you lots of experiences like this. Click the feedback button. Let us know what you think. How can we improve? And, you know, the field is filling up. The band is getting ready to go on stage. And right now we'd like to show you our... a little bit about a wrap-up of today and to show you what it's been like. Chicago's an amazing city. It's an amazing place to be, and we're glad that you can join us tonight. So for LiveList.com, my name is Matt Kerner. Thank you very much for being with us, and we will see you tomorrow at concert number 5. Enjoy the show.